X-Pac 12360, featuring weekly news, insider commentary, and interviews with superstars, past and present from the world of pro wrestling.
A new day is dawning for DX.
And now, your host, Sean X-Pac Waltman.
Welcome to X-Pac 12360, everyone. I'm your host, Sean X-Pac Waltman.
Yeah.
Hey. Yay. And joining us on the couch, as always, we got Jimbo.
How you doing, Sean?
We got Denise Salcedo, the beautiful
guys.
Denise. We got the not so beautiful Bill Handstock.
That's pretty sad.
I meant to say not as beautiful as Denise.
Okay.
How about that?
Take that.
Sorry, Bill. Bill Handstock from uprocks.com. With
Why is it
spandex.
Sundown Motel?
I was wondering that myself. And the lovely TK Trinidad.
Hey,
What's going on, everybody?
everything's good.
Just here at Xbox 12360.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
how was y'all's weekend?
It was cool. It was
Yeah.
all right. Bar wrestling was really fun.
That was on Thursday.
Oh, we're just counting the weekend
Yeah.
itself.
Just the weekend days.
Days they all blur together.
That was fun,
Yeah,
though.
that's true.
That was fun. First time I wrestled in a minute. And so, it was a good time. I didn't even know what match I was going to, what my match was going to be when I showed up.
Were you happy with the 4-on-4?
Yeah, I
kinda
was.
setup?
Yeah, I was. But I told Joey Ryan, I said, the only way I'll do it is if we team together. And then, day of the show, I'm like, Joey, I said the only reason I'm doing the show is so we team together. But you take my stuff so good, I'm just being selfish. So I said, fine.
Well, you teamed
thought it
with
was
some
awesome.
people who are almost as good as Joey Ryan.
Huh?
You teamed with some people who are almost as good as Joey Ryan.
No, it was fun. I'm not complaining at all. But it was just, the fact is the conditions for me agreeing to do the show were that he and I would team together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun, and I think I didn't see any of the other matches, but I'm pretty sure they were damn
Oh,
good,
it was a
right?
great show, top
Yeah.
to bottom. Every match was really good. The crowd was super into
Yeah,
it.
right.
A lot of fun.
A lot of ladies matches on the
Yeah,
show,
it was
right?
definitely ladies' night at bar
Yeah.
wrestling. Tessa Blanchard and Candice LeRae killed it.
The 8-man tag was the only men's match on the card, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
they put them
right.
all in
And
one
it was
match.
and it was the special attraction match because the ladies were the focus.
Oh,
Good.
look how high you
That's
got.
good.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, we got
That's
some
right.
pictures of
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Keven
a few little
took an
pictures there.
awesome double clothesline.
That's
you got
right.
a beautiful drop kick.
Yeah, it
the
wasn't
pop-up
bad.
drop kick that looked
Is
really
that
good.
Hot Young Briley taking that?
That is.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was super excited.
Hot Young Briley and average aged.
So okay, here's what it was. It was Luchasaurus who was Judas Devlin at one time, right?
Yeah,
I hope I didn't spill the beans on that.
Babora and Lucha Underground.
Yeah, and also
JTG.
I had JTG who looked excellent out there.
Yeah.
Good for him, man. Good for him. And also on my team was
Oh man, I can't think.
oh
it'll come
damn
to me.
EC3.
EC3,
Duh.
yeah, against Eli Drake, Brian Cage, Joey Ryan,
Hot Young
and
Briley.
Hot Young Briley.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with Eli Drake.
Yeah,
I already knew, I hadn't seen much of him, like I had Brian Cage and Joey
The
Ryan, and not so much of Ryan Nemeth either. I didn't get a chance to see him when he was around. He was in developmental for a while and
Is,
stuff.
FCW or
Very
NXT?
good though. Yeah, no, I was really happy with the match, and the people were great. They gave me a really nice little.
fans were loving you.
Yeah,
They had the fan with the awesome DX jersey that lets you wear it to the ring.
yeah.
That was super cool.
And there was something really crazy happened while I was standing in the ring before the match started. I looked down and some guy holds these pictures up. And they were pictures that came from the wall of my apartment that I left everything in 2004 when I was all messed up on drugs. Pictures, me and Ziggy Marley, me and Burt, myself and Burt Reynolds, a couple, yeah.
Did he give them to you?
No, he brought it. There was something his father got from a storage unit and gave to him.
What?
Yeah, I left that stuff in that apartment and walked away from it. It's not mine anymore, Jimbo. So I would appreciate some of it back, but it doesn't belong to me anymore. So
But he just wanted to come show you that he had it, and
yeah,
make
he
sure,
didn't
like,
know how he didn't know what the story was behind it.
Did you tell him?
I did, yeah. And then I signed the pictures for him and gave them to him. Told him I was happy somebody that loved wrestling got them.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And Lou had a great time.
She did. And Anissa watched her during my match.
That was great.
She was standing outside with him before my man. I'm like, go inside. Lou's fine in front of crowds. Yeah, so don't. Anyways, she almost missed the match.
Oh, it was a great show.
Yeah, and all the guys I want to thank, and I thanked them on Twitter, but I'll thank them again because they took really good care of me out there. And I was thinking, I was like, what the hell am I going to do with Brian Cage out there? I figured something out.
It went out.
Yeah, it was
went well.
nice.
Everything was great. It was
Yeah,
awesome
I
match.
appreciate you coming and driving me out there, Jimbo.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
Had a good time.
Anthony from AfterBuzz here showed up,
Oh,
so
nice.
that was kind of cool. Anyways, what else going on around the world of professional wrestling?
Ooh, so much. Mae Young Classic. I saw
Yeah.
you tweeted a lot about Shayna
Yeah.
on your Twitter. So what did you think of the finale of
It was
everything?
nice. It was nice. I think it might have even been Anissa that commented she wished the match was longer, but that was fine. It was fine. Shayna's newer, and so it's really difficult to carry a long match, when you're just starting out. So I think it was still like 15-minute match, wasn't it?
Probably a little shorter than
A
that.
little,
'cause I
like,
think
12
we
to
started
15?
at the 15-minute mark, and then I think the show itself was probably like around 40-something
like
minutes.
42
It didn't
minutes or
get
something.
to the full hour. So
Yeah.
I thought it went off the air right around 31 or 32. Like that was only half an hour long.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Yeah, I felt like you kind of already knew what was gonna happen, which some of the cases it is. Like I'm a fan of Shayna as well, but I just felt like you already knew what was gonna happen in the end. Like she wasn't gonna win.
I didn't know that at all.
That's what I predicted.
Yeah.
We had been pretty convinced that the finish was going to be Kyrie going for the elbow and landing
Yeah.
in the choke.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah. I didn't think she
But
was.
and
I-
they teased it during the match
Yeah.
also. At one point I thought like, oh man, are they going to have Kyrie tap out? Like what's going to happen? And I like the story that they played out because, Shayna had beat all her other opponents this way. And it's like, oh, is it going to happen to Kyrie? I think this match was a lot better than I expected it was
Yeah.
going to be going into it. The crowd was really behind it.
That's right.
The girls were like, you can feel like they knew this was their moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like a lot of the crowd had left. Or maybe maybe it wasn't a full house in the first place, but it looked like there was
seemed
some.
pretty full compared to how 205 Live
Really?
tapings usually look after SmackDown goes off the air. I thought it looked pretty full.
So it was like a full taping of SmackDown, the Mae
And
Young
then- yeah, they
Classic,
s-
and then 205 Live.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long
All
day.
together.
Oh wow, they
that's
did
a-
205
But
Live after
it's
that.
really smart that they flipped Mae Young Classic and 205 Live because nobody would have stuck around for after 205 Live
Right.
for the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I somewhat question why they did it that way, but then I'm like, okay, I can see that.
But then even 205 Live had a surprise on it because Breezango came out and tried to arrest Drew Gulak.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
How was that?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Breezango's always great.
Yeah.
Or the Fashion Police or whatever they're called now.
Oh man, they might get canceled.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Speaking of cats.
So how do you pronounce it?
Kairi
Kairi Sane.
Yeah,
She was fantastic.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be a great addition. I feel like this tournament, having her win was the right call because I feel it's like now she has this whole I won, I outdid 32 other women, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's a really cool thing to have. And even though as she doesn't speak English, it doesn't matter because she just has so much charisma and her style is great. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen with her.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
I'm
a little
looking forward
bit
to
sad too that the Mae Young Classic is over. I don't know if anyone else feels that way.
Well, hopefully they'll use all these women
Yeah.
moving forward. Didn't the two of them get a contract? I thought Triple H tweeted that.
Well,
Kyrie was signed
yeah,
a long
she's
time
Oh,
doing
ago.
it like NXT.
And
That's
then
why her name changed.
everybody was trying to get Jazzy.
Oh
They
my
tried to do
gosh,
the
she
Cedric
needs
Alexander
to-
thing
yeah.
for Jazzy, and I
She
think
needs
Triple
to.
H was like, "Last time you guys did this, it cost me a lot of money."
Yeah.
Well, this is what I was surprised by. They did a Mae Young special that was 20 minutes long
Oh, yeah,
on
right before
YouTube
it.
and WWE Network that had the six women that had Jazzy in it. And they
Yeah.
did the Triple H speech in it and everything. I thought they were going to do what they did with the Cruiserweight Classic finale where they had a full hour and other matches on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they should have done for this one is have an attraction match to get people pumped up for it. But it was sort of it started, here's a package, and then like we're off to the races, which was kind of weird. I mean, the match was great, made up for it. There's all the speculation that maybe they were going to award the NXT Women's Championship to the winner of this, and they announced after it went off the air, Triple H told ESPN that Kairi Sane is going to get an NXT Women's Championship shot against someone. Like, she's going to fight someone to determine who's going to be the new champion. So I understand why they did it this way, where they wanted to have winning the Mae Young Classic be the reward for winning the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
So I get that. But it felt, the Cruiserweight Classic finale felt a little bit more
prestigious,
important just because they unveiled the brand new belt. And
Yeah.
but I get it, like they did. I think they did a great job with this. I think it felt important as it was, and also, you know, it might, as opposed to debuting a new Cruiserweight belt at the finale for that, might cheapen the NXT Women's Championship a little bit to be like, and also you get this.
Right. Yeah, like parting gift type
Right.
thing.
Especially after Asuka's reign of like, here, I give this to you now.
Right.
And it's just like, oh yeah, you get this now.
Yeah.
Here you
She
go.
was in the audience too, so
Yeah.
it was good. I'm looking forward to like because I know some of the women are going to be going over, so I'm looking forward to seeing the dynamic, and then when they move into the main roster.
Any other ladies they're gonna sign, like Mercedes Martinez, anyone like
I would
that?
hope so. I would love them to sign them all.
I hope they sign almost everyone from
Yeah.
the tournament.
Belair.
Really?
What's
Oh,
her-
she's signed.
Belair's
yeah.
signed.
She's
been in
signed.
the
She's on
Performance
NXT.
Center.
So
Yeah.
anyone who pretty much got their name changed to go into the tournament got
Yeah.
signed,
Well,
and that's why they changed their
Bianca
name.
Belair's
recently.
been with NXT for a while, and
Yeah.
I believe I can't remember her name. She was
Zeta was a Performance Center student.
Yeah.
There were a couple other Performance Center students. Zaya
the
Lee was
girl from
signed.
China,
yeah.
right?
yeah.
But Belair was a Performance Center product. She wasn't a wrestler before
Really?
Performance Center. Yeah.
I-
That's why she's so impressive.
I really like Piper Nevin too.
Yeah.
Oh
She's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, she is awesome.
She
I think
might
she-
have gotten signed, but she also I don't think she's signed at this point.
I would love to see her and Nia Jax together as a team.
Oh, that would be
Let's
awesome.
see
my-
Nia and Jazzy.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah, there's so much potential with this. I really like it.
Yeah, yeah. I think Piper Niven had such a good match with Toni Storm on the Mae Young Classic, and that's one of the persons that I can't wait to see more of is Toni. I think she's probably personally my pick out of all the women that shine the brightest.
Is she Australian?
No,
New Zealand, I believe?
Yeah,
Tony, I
but-
think is English, right?
Yeah, but
or
see,
no, she's Australian.
Yeah, but I'm almost 100% positive that I ran her over in the UK.
Yeah, no, she's the Progress Women's Champion.
And yeah, I think that her and Tyler Bate might be a couple. Like her,
Totally
yeah.
possible, yeah. She's
She's Australian.
She hasn't been assigned yet, as far as I know, but she's a big part of Progress.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Now I'm thinking to myself when I saw her, I'm like, oh yeah, that's her. And then somebody said, oh, Australian girl in New Zealand. I'm like,
Yeah, I think Toni Storm and Piper Niven might be on the same sort of deal as like the Mustache Mountain guys are, like the UK guys are, where it's like they're not signed, but they're under contract to WWE. They can work other places.
They're in that
one of
gray
those.
area.
Yeah, and
it's almost like the Legends contract.
I don't think Candice is signed, even though she had such a great showing in the tournament.
Yeah, and they put her in the crowd. Like, look at all these girls.
And the
Wow,
girls from
really?
Yeah.
and the girls from Glow showed up too.
Yeah.
That was
that's
awesome
awesome.
to see them there.
Yeah, do you see?
Cherry band.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Hey,
to
any
see
word
all
on why they wouldn't have signed Candice? Because honestly, I thought she did as good or better than just about anyone in the
She's awesome.
tournament.
It's just there's like a lot of like a third or a quarter of the women in the tournament were Performance Center products.
Yeah.
Another quarter were like NXT / recent signees. Then another quarter were like just outside talent that signed on to do the Mae Young Classic. And then there was a gray area of people who like either signed a contract shortly after being announced for the tournament or like during the tournament. But there's also just a lot of people that no words come out on whether they've signed yet.
I'm disappointed about hearing about Candice.
Well, she might be signed. It's just the news hasn't come
I hope
out
so,
yet.
because people were raving about Shayna Baszler, Mercedes Martinez. I liked her match with Candice better.
I agree.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it might be the Mercedes Shayna match might just be one of those products of like they've wrestled each other so much and know each other so well that the styles clash between Candice and Shayna made for a better.
Yeah, that works. That happens sometimes because when we get used to somebody, a lot of times some of the stuff might look a little routine.
Yeah, because like Shayna learned how to wrestle basically against Mercedes.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
It's a definite like mentor protege relationship that they have.
All right.
And I mean Mercedes is just amazing. Like I want her to get signed
she's
really
great.
bad.
And she should.
But the only problem is that this was a problem even before the Mae Young Classic and it's going to be a little bit better now that Asuka's gone. But even before the Mae Young Classic, NXT had a problem of, my God, there's so many talented women, and there's not enough room for them all.
Yeah, Paul said on the conference call that he didn't think it was a good idea to have an all-women show, but it's okay to have a 205 Live show.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. Like, is that the next step? Like a women's only show?
Why not?
I think it makes more sense than a UK show at this point.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely.
They deserve it.
I think there's just like the higher ups probably still have that stigma of like, well, if it's a one-off thing, people might watch it, but no one's gonna watch women on a regular basis, like on their own merit. Like that's not what I
curious.
think.
Yeah, curious to know who still thinks that way. Those backwards ass thoughts. So, all right. Well, what else is going on?
Ooh, SmackDown.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon gets headbutt by KO. Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That
It was
looked
like
like a-
scary and awesome at the same time.
This whole segment was great. From Vince coming out to, oh yeah, you want to talk to me that way? Well, I'll have you fired. Like everything in this segment was.
Well, the
so
whole thing
good.
with Kevin Owens from the beginning of the show, where he's threatening to sue and everything, and he's saying what he's gonna change. It's just like he has this really mix of you hate him, but you're still laughing and you don't quite know. And it was just a good thing. But yeah, the fact that he headbutted, I think Vince is like 72.
Yeah. You see how he
So-
looks though?
I know, but
He's
still.
a
fine.
static jackhammer.
Yeah.
What do you think Vince is saying to him when he's like, "You have my word," and he puts the mic down and puts his hand out? Is he telling him, "You better"?
That's
headbutt
what I
me
said
and-
a little bit ago. As I'm watching that, I'm like, right there, he's telling him, when you headbutt me, you better headbutt the shit out. I could guarantee you it's something along those lines. So, same type of thing Shane would say to me when I was working with Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I told Shane. I said, look, man, all the guys are going to be watching Shane. If I don't lay it in, they're going to. And he's like, oh yeah, lay it in.
Did he ever complain?
Never, man.
You nailed him with one of your spin
Yes.
kicks? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he hit me too. So it's not like it was just one way.
But the ending of SmackDown was one of those things where it was so shocking and so violent, and you don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Like when they tried to do the Brock Randy Orton thing, that was a little bit much, and as the main event of a major pay-per-view, like that didn't come off like they wanted it to come off, I felt, and a lot of people were turned off by it at SummerSlam last year with Randy Orton.
Yeah, I
and
remember.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But this one was just so out of nowhere, and Vince bleeding wasn't necessarily intentional. Like they were probably hoping for something visual
Gee,
there.
I don't know.
But I mean, it was an accident, clear accident. Like you can't guarantee you're gonna bust someone open on a headbutt. You can try your best, but you can't guarantee it.
Yeah. Well, some secrets are still safe, I
Yeah,
guess.
I was gonna ask, but I didn't know if you were going to be able to tell.
We're not gonna be asking you to tell us about the stunt granny today, but it was such a shocking thing in the way that they treated it. Where in years past, Vince would have just taken a hellacious beating and bled all over the place and like gotten back up, but now they're treating it as Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon's age, and you probably shouldn't treat a person that age like that,
Yeah.
regardless of how good a shape he's in. She had Adam Pearce running out like begging Kevin Owens not to hit the frog splash, and then he did it anyway. Like just good stuff.
Yeah. Nobody's really shocked or anything, though, right? Like, I mean, this is Vince McMahon. I mean, he's 72, but I mean, you guys saw a picture of him from a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
From the Muscle Mag.
Yeah.
He still looks like that.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
Well, everyone always says Vince will be the first in line to do anything.
That's right.
Like, he was the first to come from the ceiling and Shawn Michaels' entrance at WrestleMania. Like, he'll always be the one to take it first. So, I'll take a headbutt from Kevin Owens and make this look amazing and show you guys where we're going in the future. Of course, like, why not? It's your company.
Yeah, it's true, but still, I don't know.
What?
I understand it, but still, just
Hey, old people run their mouth. They need to get beat down too. Old ass mother. No, I'm just kidding.
you should just cut that. Oh. He said it so serious. I was like, oh, man. Okay. Wow.
Now, don't give them a hall pass just because they're old.
Who do we have coming up on the show
Oh,
today?
geez, I didn't even mention, right? Yeah, we got the hustler Rip Rogers coming up on the show.
Yeah.
And that's here in a few minutes, actually, because I think we're out of news, aren't we?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're gonna do. Actually, do you want to do like some of the social
let's
media?
do
Let's get over with. So we have Twitter, Real Xpac, also IG Xpac12360, Facebook Xpac12360 Show, also iTunes. Make sure you give 5 stars. Leave comments on our YouTube page. We listen. We read it all the time. All that good stuff. And yeah, we'll be right back.
It's easy for you to say, TK.
Oh my God.
We'll be right back with the hustler Rip Rogers.
What's up, party people? Roxy Stryer here from The Tomorrow Show with Keven Undergaro. We're your twice-weekly broadcast of one man's midlife crisis and the mad millennials in Star Trek uniforms that follow him.
And I'm one of those millennials, Lauren LaGrasso here. We've had some amazing guests like Russell Simmons, Ileana Douglas, and Craig Gass. Coolio, right?
Christian Blatt in the house to tell you to go to thetomorrowshow.com to check us out. We're live every Monday and Thursday from 10 to midnight Eastern. That's thetomorrowshow.com. Be there or be square, whatever that means.
Welcome back to X-Pac 12360, everyone. Joining us right now over the telephone is hustler Rip Rogers. What's going on, Ripster?
Well, I just thought what a great day it would be. It's the greatest day of my life because I'm on your show, the show of the legendary Lightning Kid. It don't get any better than that.
Now, Rip Rogers has been calling me the legendary Lightning Kid since 1991, since we were in.
That's right.
Since we were in Global Wrestling Federation in Dallas, Texas together. That's the first time I met you, Rip. But Rip, before that, like my first time seeing you, being exposed to you was on. You remember when Vince bought the time slot on TBS on Saturday night?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And then so all of a sudden there was nothing on TBS other than WWF Wrestling. Then that went away. Then in the early mornings they played. Was it Ole's promotion?
Yeah.
I saw you there. It was you were in a Hollywood Blondes tag team for a second, right?
The convertible blondes.
Yeah. It was me and we were the second group of Hollywood Blinds before Austin and Pillman was. After that.
Yeah, but it was you and Dale Woods or Ken Timms, one of those guys.
It was Ted Oates.
Oh, Ted Oates. That's who it was.
Golden Boy Ted Oates from Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah. Now, so that show, Rip, was on in the mornings. How long did that promotion last up there when you were there?
Well, it was. Let me see. What happened was, Ole got that time slot.
Yeah.
And then he was there, and then Ole had Ronald about 8 months, and then Crockett bought the slot.
Right.
Because and then so what happened was they absorbed some of the guys and they went with Crockett, and my butt was I was working on top with Tommy Rich when he took over, so they gave me 6 weeks of loser league towns main events, and then I was on to work for Wahoo in Tampa.
I was going to say, see, that's where I grew up, Rip, and so it wasn't long after I saw you on that TBS show in the Saturday morning that all of a sudden you were down there at the Sportatorium in Tampa, not the Dallas Sportatorium, the Tampa Sportatorium, and I remember you having a hell of a fairly long program with Bugsy McGraw of all people.
Yeah, it was. Well, what it was really good, and I was down there working for Wahoo, and Wahoo says, "I love Wahoo."
Yeah,
man. He was just a normal guy. You know what I mean? And he says, now I was, how small I was. I probably weighed 210, and he says, now I got these big guys here. You're not going to be working with. I'll be working. I got Rick Rude and Billy Jack and Hercules. I said, I don't give a shit what you got, Chief. you'll eventually be with me because I'm better than all of them. It don't make any difference. You can have as many bench press contests as you want. It don't matter. Excuse me, these people hate me.
Yeah. But see, eventually.
So what happened was, remember, we discovered Lady Maxine.
Yeah.
At Rick Poston's gym there.
Oh, is
Remember
that where
Rick
you
Poston?
found her? Yeah, Rick Poston. He moved to Vermont, actually. We all the boys ran. He had a gym up in Vermont we used to go to when we'd be doing TVs up there. But yeah, Rick Poston,
Wow.
all Athletes Fitness Center in Tampa, Florida. All the wrestlers trained
Yeah.
there.
But I trained there, and then she was in there, so we found her in there, and she'd worked for Moolah, and so hell, she was about what 6'4".
Yeah.
Then she had the spiked hair, and we put the high heels on her, and she was like, it was almost like she could step over the top rope or something.
Yeah.
So, and then what happened was, I mean, that was just a natural thing, and then all of a sudden, Wahoo got. Bugsy did something, or he was complaining about money. So all of a sudden, we was working with Wahoo.
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Oh, I remember Wahoo. Well, I'm not going to work with you." Okay, all right.
And
just laughed.
now, but like Billy Jack and Rude, and those guys left, and you were still there, right?
What happened was, let me see. This is very non-professional, but I left with no notice. Because remember when Crockett had the cable, and then we had the local
Channel
Tampa
40,
show.
yeah.
And then what happened was they had the big super show in Miami, and they sold out. And I worked with Bugsy, and had the girls in there, right?
Right.
And every match there was color except me and his.
Right.
So in other words, they all had steak, so we gave them chicken.
Sure.
So they loved our match because they saw the SOS every match.
Same old
shit. Yeah. Uh-huh. Now my language is pretty good so far.
You can say shit all you want.
I'm gonna try and say nothing. nothing. But in the meantime, the next show come up, and I said, "Chief, my booking sheet. I'm not there. Where am I?" He goes, "You're off." I said, "What? Why?" He says, "Well, it's not my call." I said, "It's not your call. You're the booker." He said it was somebody else's, if you will. But I can't. I'm not gonna say who it was. But anyway, if you know what I was coming from, it was somebody else's decision.
Yeah.
So I said, Chieftain. I said, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
He says, "What?" I said, "I'm leaving." He says, "You can't." I said, "Oh, Chief, right. You walked in 6 in a row. You told me." He goes, "I know it, but please don't leave." He says, "I'll pay you for being off, and I'll meet you down in Key West the next day." And I said, since I was 31 at the time and I had testosterone in me and stupid, I said, "No, poop on this." I said, "I'll be gone in 2 hours," and I drove right back to Lexington.
Damn, Rip, you know what, man? You were talking about being a smaller guy. You looked great, man. You looked damn near as good as anybody in the territory, and that's what Rick Rude and Billy Jack being there. Like, because I remember seeing the pictures of you doing they showed pictures of you on TV from bodybuilding contests, and I'm like, damn, Rip.
Yeah. Well, it was funny, Sean. It's like I was in the bodybuilding contest when it really wasn't cool to be into that.
Right.
And then everybody else took all the gas, and I didn't take any gas. So I knew I was obsessive compulsive, and if I did, I'd croak real soon because I'd abuse it. So I didn't do anything because I knew myself.
So gas, when he says gas, that means anabolic steroids or those type of things. That's for the people that don't know what gas means.
How are you?
Okay.
How are you able to keep your physique without being on steroids? Especially like looking at people like Rick Rude and Billy Jack Haynes, and you're in ridiculous shape when you look at those bodybuilding pictures.
Well, I was obsessive compulsive because I was a fat little kid. So all you had to do was really diet and train real hard daily, and I never missed a workout. Like I trained 3.5 hours a day. I'm 63 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. Now my joints are shot, and I got these hips in, Well, I used to do all the Malenko squats, the lunges, the free squat, the bicycle, you name it.
Yep.
Now, if I sit down to go to the number 2, I'm not supposed to because of it's 90 degrees. I gotta push off the toilet seat with my arms to get up. but it's really karma because it's all the evil I did in all my life. So it's okay.
That's how you know what, Rip? It's when you say that because that's how I feel about the things that I've gone through.
Right.
I just say, look, man, it's even Steven for all the effed up things I've done, or the things that I failed to do that I should have done. So
right. We're all human. We're all flawed. And when I tell people I don't want to meet these real movie stars, I said, and you don't want to meet your real wrestlers because you look at them and their character in a certain light.
Yeah.
And all we are is flawed human beings.
Yeah. And
then when you see that, you sort of get mad, like Santa Claus ain't real. There's no Easter Bunny. And I can't believe in Andy Mayberry because he's a perv or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really want to know.
Yeah. Rip, but talking about like staying in shape, and you were talking about the Malenko squat, the Hindu squats,
right?
What they call them. Like one of my first memories of being around you, was at the pool at that. What was that? A Hojo or Motor Lodge or whatever the hell that hotel was.
You mean where we had your 18th birthday party? And you was there.
Yeah.
And you was and here's the legendary Lightning Kid. He's so shy. He wouldn't look anybody in the eye. He was always looking down.
Yeah.
So I would always mess with him in a working way to show you that it's okay. You're accepted. I was 37 at the time, going on 18. Right. Because when you get into wrestling, if you get in at 17, you stay 17. If you're 102,
no kidding. You
never grow up. It's, as Lanny Poffo calls it, terminal adolescence.
Yeah, but Ripster, you were at poolside doing Hindu squats nonstop. At the same time, you're preaching, you're spitting out knowledge and sharing knowledge with myself and whoever the hell else happened to be at the pool at the time. And you just that's the one thing that stood out to me. Well, one of the things that stood out to me about you was just how free you were with giving away your knowledge.
Well, you got to remember, Sean, I didn't you went to one of the greatest instructors you could. My gosh, how lucky you were to be trained by these geniuses, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
No kidding.
And
man.
Here I was, Sean. I BS'd my way into the wrestling business, and I was never trained.
Never?
So I had to learn everything in the ring, and whereas you could go out and practice 122 sunset flips in a row till you got it.
Right.
I'd be in there in Nashville, work for Nick Goulas, and Whipper Billy Watson Jr. Ripper Calls would say, "Okay, we're going to do a sunset flip tonight, and then we'll do it all week, and then the next week we'll work on a fly across." Stuff like that.
Did you say Ripper
yes,
Collins?
Sir.
Did you say Ripper Collins from like the Ripper Collins from Hawaii?
Yes, my boy.
Wow. What the hell was he doing in Tennessee?
Well, he was every Wednesday night after the shows in Nashville, we go down to the Drag Queens and watch you perform.
Right. Did he do? Is that what he was doing there?
Oh, he would sing "Let Me Entertain You" in drag,
Yeah, he was a pretty big guy to be going in drag. But I could see that.
Yeah, he was probably at least 280. But he dressed he dressed up and his calves looked nice and him high heels. So what the heck?
Hey, did you ever hear the story about Ripper getting suplexed out of by Carl Gotch, and then they fired Carl, and Carl had to ride the back of the garbage truck for a while to get enough money to make it home? Did you ever hear that one?
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyways,
wow.
we were talking about the Goulas those days. I thought for some reason that you got your start working with Poffos.
Well, I did.
ICW.
Well, what it is, I was working in Indianapolis, and I had this guy Steve Cooper lived in West Virginia, and he went home to Seth, and he was on that WOAY Oak Hill, right outside of Beckley. They used to have a bowling alley. They used to have a live wrestling show.
Yeah.
Or on Saturday nights, and that's where I met Angel Ancevita.
The Cuban Assassin.
Yes.
Yeah, the Calgary version of Cuban Assassin.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. So over the years, I was with Cuban there in Calgary, for the Maritimes a couple times, and in Puerto Rico. So we've been around a lot together. So, and he was he didn't speak no English, but
right.
Barely. So, but that was funny because he was Puerto Rican living in Oak Hill, West Virginia.
He was Puerto Rican playing a Cuban?
Yeah. Well, that's like when I was in Mississippi. Oki Shakina was a Mexican playing a Japanese guy.
Yeah.
We had Mark Merrill playing like he was a black guy, just like PM News, right?
Yeah. And how about what was it, Junji Harada, or one of those Japanese guys? There were so many Japanese guys up in Calgary that they said he was like Chief Two Feathers, or Chief, like they called him an Indian. He would say me from.
Because Stu had the working agreement with the one Japanese office. It was New Japan.
Yeah.
So News was there, and all the young boys. Big Head Hashimoto, he was there when I was there.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of them was there. So I took Hashimoto to the girly club. So I got him doing some stuff that would be frowned upon by the Japanese wrestling office. But anyway, we did it anyway. So what the heck? I had Big Head having some fun.
So, but anyways, go ahead, you guys.
Oh, Rip, so I want to know, you wrestled in so many different territories. What would you say was your favorite?
I really didn't have any, but Calgary was, the good thing about Calgary was they had I got to stay at the hotel right downtown, 5 minutes from BJ's gym there, who was married to one of Stu's older daughters.
That's
that's the father of Teddy Hart. So I would stay at the old beat up St. Regis downtown. I think they had the one bathroom, a floor, or something like that.
Yeah.
And the pimps and prostitutes, they'd be all hanging around there, and I would jump on the train and go down to BJ, and then Jerry Moore would pick me up every day. So he'd be driving the heel van, so we had all the heels. And they hated me at first because when an American took in, they would fire a Canadian guy, right?
Yeah.
So I said, oh, man, I gotta do some serious talking. But within 2 weeks, I was the leader of the heels, so I was leading the charge to the exotic entertainers' palaces at night, etc., being out all night. And if I was out with Jerry Moore and Johnny Smith, they always had to keep me from getting too wild so they could stay out all night too.
Champagne Jerry Morrow and Cuban Assassin, they were a tag team. They were a hell of a tag team, actually.
Oh, they were great. They were a great tag team. And I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, you speak 6 languages, and all of them but English.
Wow. And you were mentioning Johnny Smith. That was Davy's cousin, Davy Boy Smith's cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they real cousins? Were they real cousins or just wrestling cousins, Rip?
I thought they were real cousins, but who knows?
Right.
You can't. What can you believe in wrestling, right?
Right. Yeah. When I first got in, Malenko said, "Believe only half of nothing. Believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see." That was the initial thing.
That was the motto back then.
Yeah, and it's probably still should be.
Yeah, really.
So,
sorry.
go ahead, Dee.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
So with the territories back then, and now you see a lot of independent promotions popping up all over. You think we're in a swing where we're going back to that mentality of territories in wrestling, with like everything going on in the UK?
Oh no, no. Indies are a joke. Get real. Indies are a joke.
Like there's not an indie out there that you think is doing well?
Well, we got different perceptions of doing well. You know what I mean? It's like when we ran ICW and we were the outlaw territories, and Sean vouched for that.
Yeah.
At one time, we had 13 TV markets. And I remember on 2 Saturday nights, we actually ran 3 towns. a lot of times we would run double shot on Saturday, double shot on Sunday, and a double shot on Friday night. But on 2 Saturdays, we actually ran 3 towns. So that was unbelievable. We had all this great talent, but the incumbents, the Jerry Jarretts, the Nick Goulas, the Jim Barnetts, the Dick the Bruisers, the Bob Geigels, all the guys, the Ron Fullers, all the guys we were in competition with, they all had the great TVs and the great TV time slots. If you got the strong TV and the strong time slot, you're going to be fighting. You're second best. It doesn't matter what your talent is, because we hit each other hard. We worked hard. We trained hard. We were just really stupid as far as we were just the boys wanting another. We just wanted to have some fun and wrestle. What can you say? Wrestling's the greatest thing. I call it the greatest worst sport in the world.
No kidding,
because
right?
It's so much fun, but you have so many highs and so many lows. And I've seen guys drink themselves to death, kill themselves to death, blow their brains out over feeling disappointed over this business, losing their friends, losing their family. And I just say, poop on everybody. This is what I love, and this is the way I'm going to go down. And I said, I'd rather barely make it and be working every day of my life and making these trips with these guys and telling stories and ribbing the rookies and picking the old guys' brains. And I mean, every day was a holiday.
So
you didn't work. You woke up. You trained. You ate right. And then the good part was getting in there and making those trips with the guys where I just wanted to shut up, and I wanted to be the young one there so I can listen to all these stories, all these tales, all these shenanigans that all these guys told me. And I was just like a little kid in the candy store,
man.
just soaking all this up. I'm thinking, I'm the luckiest man in the world. I'm riding with Boris Malenko, Ronnie Garvin, Bob Root, Angelo Popo, Randy Savage, Thunderbolt Patterson coming in, Ernie Ladd's coming in. My gosh, I'm just, and here I was in Seymour High School saying I want to be a wrestler. I don't know how I'm going to get there because I didn't know about any wrestling school, but someday I'm going to be there. And I said, wow, this is unbelievable.
And you had the will to do it, Rip, and nothing stopped you. The fact that you didn't know, like, there was no resources like everyone has, they obviously didn't stop you, Rip. Rip, the guys that worked for Papa, and I had Lanny on the show not that long ago. It's actually 10. Episode 10. I had him on, so it has been a while now. But did you have problems? Did you feel like blackballed from other promotions because you worked for Papa's ICW?
Well, you know how there wasn't no internet.
Right.
There wasn't even cable TV when we started stuff. Right.
Right.
So the only thing I knew about other territories is what I'd see in the magazine, or somebody knew somebody that was working with the other, some other territory or whatever. And I had no idea of, working for all these places were just stuff in magazines for me, where I get to see Harley Race at this place, Dutch Savage at this place, Bill Masters in L.A., Pat Patterson in San Francisco. Then you had Britain's territory, Amarillo territory, Houston on its own. Then they had McGurk, Gagne, Geigel, Eddie Graham, Fuller, Old Vince, Charlotte, Sheik, Bruiser, Stu Hart, Vancouver, Montreal, Emile Dupre up in the Maritimes, and the list goes on and on.
Wow.
Well, speaking of Angelo Poffo and Randy Savage, what would you say you learned from them the most?
I pretty much learned everything about the business from them.
And
me and Randy pretty much lived together a long time, and I was so fortunate because I was just stupid, but I was in this guy named Don Pruitt, who was a nice old promoter con man. He got me booked down in Nashville on Christmas night. I think it was 76, and I got to be Lanny's tag team partner, and I was just so horrible, but I was young, and I looked pretty good for some goop with my Carlin Hildegard boots my shimmer cape, my 5-0 trunks, and just a total goof.
Well, going back
But,
to being roommates with Randy Savage, what was he like? Outside the ring, I guess you can say.
Hey, he's the same.
The same, right, Rip? That's what I tell people. They can't believe it. And I'm like, how it wouldn't have worked if it wasn't the same.
I saw Randy break character about 30 seconds of his life. He had this little dog, and it died from, what is it, parvo or something?
Oh.
He was a little puppy, and a tear come down, and he was Randy for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the dog died, and then he bought a new dog, backup dog, but he had a home plate, and he had it tacked on in his bedroom, and it had his collar and leash on it and everything like that. But then he got backup, and that was it. But that was the only time I ever seen him out of character.
Yeah, that's what would do it for me.
Have you spoken to Lanny Poffo recently?
Not since Randy died.
I didn't know if you talked to him after Judy passed away.
Judy. Oh man, Judy used to do my hair. Whenever she held the company together, she was the secretary.
Yeah.
And she'd cook stuff, and of course there was always a place for me to eat. If my stuff needed sewing up, well, hey, Randy gave me a second-hand robe, second-hand boots, as I called it, second-hand go to hell.
Yeah.
Second-hand go
Rip,
to hell headband.
Rip, when you met me, and I was wrestling in Dallas, I was wearing Randy's boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So not only was it awesome that he would give you his boots, but you didn't know where to get wrestling boots. You were wearing just like general wrestling shoes you could afford, right?
Right. No. Randy told me how to put the parachute cord in and burn the ends on your boots that you get. We all got them from Bill Ash's dad
Ash, yep.
at D-Bar A Boot Shop in Paris, Arkansas. Then all the boys got all their stuff from Carlin Hildegard in Johnstown, Ohio.
Yep.
And I think, then I had the guy down in Houston. They had the Mexican boots, I think, and everything.
Oh yeah, well, Flair got his boots made there, and some other guys, and I can't remember his name, but yeah, he didn't make Clifford or something like that.
I can't remember because I'm a guy, and I could eat the same food every day for years and wear the same clothes. So once I was a Bill Ash boot man, I was a Bill Ash dad boot man.
Right.
The same with K&H,
Hey,
wow, they were just thinking about the stories just starting out and stuff,
Hey, Ripster, you went to All Japan and worked for Baba for a bit, didn't you? How many tours did you do over there?
No, I did. I went 2 over there for him, and then I went 1 over for Victor Quinones in Wing.
Yeah, Wing.
Which I really didn't want to go, but I wanted to work Mexico for about 3 months just to learn lucha.
Right.
Because I was in. You got to remember, it's like before cable TV. It's like when I went down to Tampa for spring break when I was in college, and I saw all these great wrestlers. Right. I said, man, you don't see these guys. I got Dick the Bruiser wrestling. Dick the Bruiser and a bunch of local guys, and maybe a fly-in Ernie Ladd, Ivan Koloff, a Hanson Jimmy or whatever, and pretty much guys that would drive in for 4 or 5 hours. Now all of a sudden I see these great wrestlers out of Tampa and stuff, and then it was just another world. But Tampa used to have. I always thought it was like the greatest territory because there was all these cities with a lot of population, and they had the 2 different television shows there, and you see all the top talent coming out of there. And then Eddie Graham he was the legend there. And when I do my background, I would see all these great workers and wrestlers. They all come out of Tampa, where they're either from Malenko's or they were from the Sportatorium there.
Yeah.
And then the guys who come out of Malenko's, I think they were told to kayfabe it because it would get them heat with the NWA.
Exactly. That's exactly
But
right, Rip.
Barry Horowitz would always ride with me, and he'd always kayfabe me on everything.
Yep.
I said, Barry, I don't care. I'm just asking you because you're really good. Your fundamentals and stuff, your footwork and everything. And then he thought I was trying to dig on him and find out something to get him fired. So.
Yeah, that sounds like Barry.
I saw a lot of paranoia, but then again, I've been with Randy, so I know what paranoia is.
Yeah. Hey, Rip, tell me this. I heard this story one time. I believe it was Scott Hall told me that Barry Windham was dropping a deuce one time, and he dropped his keys in the toilet. And he was like, he offered a bunch of every dollar he had in his pocket to somebody to pick him out, and you just went in there and you just said, "Hey, I got him right here."
No, everybody makes a big deal about this, and it's
Right.
in Mankind's book. And I always tell the story. We're there at TBS in Atlanta, and I'm taking the Shizer on there, and all of a sudden Barry comes up, and I hear cussing and stuff, right? And he's screaming. I said, Barry, what's the matter? He goes, I dropped my keys in the toilet. And he put out a healthy number 2. There was, it wasn't that bad,
Right.
And then if it's my own stuff, I stick my hand in there. Who cares? But anyway, at the time I lived on a farm, and I had like 12 dogs or whatever, and they were in the house, and they had free reign because they were all abused. So they'd get mad at me sometimes. They'd poop on the floor, so I just go pick the toilet, pick their statements up and put it in the toilet and flush it. So Barry, by the time, within 30 seconds, as Barry went screaming to get a new pair of keys, I had to walk slowly because I had my pants down to my ankles. He was in the stall next door. So I reached over and I looked at the turdage in there, and there was no corn. It wasn't runny or anchovy, so it wasn't that bad. I could tell what he ate. But I just reached in there and pulled it out, took the keys out, went over and washed my hands and washed them all off. And Barry says, "Oh my God!" I said, "Well, your keys, I got them." I said, "What's it worth?" He goes, "I'll give you all my money." It was $51 he had in his pocket.
That's
I said,
worth it.
Right.
That's worth it. That's worth it,
Yeah.
Rip. That's not that big of a deal.
No.
The way it was told to me, it was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he did it." Big whoopie do.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I
I thought we were going to hear a good story.
I never thought it was a big deal. I just knew if you dropped your keys in there, okay, well, you're afraid to get them, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Boom, here.
Ripper,
I mean, still today, if I drop food and I can pick it up and I can lean with my hips, I'm gonna pick it up off the floor. I ain't gonna throw it away. I'm gonna eat it.
that's not the only place you'll pick food up off of, Rip. You picked it up off my plate on my 18th birthday party when I went to the
my.
bathroom. I come back and my chicken breast is gone. I thought Mike Shaw ate it.
Now, did I eat them or did I just rib them and hide them?
Well, if you hit it, then you might as well have ate it because I didn't.
Okay, because this one guy, he was at McDonald's. He got them two quarter pounders, and he had to go to the bathroom. He come back, so I took both the patties out of there. Right.
Nice.
So he ate 2 sandwiches, and we're talking. So he had lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, special sauce, no cheese, and no meat. Right.
Yeah.
And he just ate them. I said, "How are those quarter pounders?" He goes, "Well, they didn't seem like there was much to them." So I just shook my head. What the hell? And that was it. And I never told him and didn't know and whatever.
Nice.
Rip, everyone has known over the past few months that you've got a specific stance on a lot of independent wrestling, a lot of modern wrestling with a focus on athleticism and dives, and in your opinion, a lack of psychology and that sort of thing. But I want to know, on the positive side, what do you think are the positive developments of modern day wrestling? What are the good aspects of it?
Well, the guys are they're so athletic. And anything that the guys do today, it's not their fault. They didn't have the advantage that we had of getting in the ring with 40-year-olds training 20-some-year-olds night after night after night after night, and learning. And it wasn't that they liked me; it was they was trying to keep me from hurting them because I was so rotten. So, but you learned and you listened. And when all these guys, I found out they're pretty much telling me the same thing, maybe in a different accent, a different language, European style, the way they're talking, like a sleek vault height instead of an international or whatever, and a sunset flips, a double leg crucifix, and stuff like that.
Right.
But we all, as a kid growing up, and I'm going back generations, but like I either wanted to be Jimmy Brown in football or Oscar Robertson in basketball, Mickey Mantle in baseball, stuff like that. So they're just copying their heroes that they see on TV. And when WWE, they're the leaders of the industry, so they determine everything. If Vince says, okay, I don't want any dives, there'll basically be no dives. But he says, I want guys that look good. So he's the boss. He's paying everybody, so he can hire whoever he wants to. So I'm going to do whatever I can do. And if they're doing this kind of three-pointer and slam dunk in the NBA by LeBron, Michael Jordan, or whatever, then I'm going to do the same thing the stars are.
Right.
So, but then you want to be different too. But no, all I harp upon is you've only got so many bumps on your bump card.
Amen.
And you'll do stuff when you're young because you don't, but you're going to feel it later on. And I'd see all the guys, I worked with Randy Orton's grandpa, and we didn't leave our feet. And of course, I was a mark. I wanted to get in my drop kicks and my flying head scissors and everything else. I'm like a little kid with my lip out, pouting like a goof.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get my stuff in, right?
You got on
and
me.
He's laughing.
Yeah, I remember you getting on me in a tag match we were in together, and you're, he's got to get his shit in. I see. That was years and years ago. Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And you would have got if you would have worked every night, got every move you've ever seen in because you love it. You're on adrenaline, but you're drastically reducing your number of at bats in the major league by taking all those bumps.
Yep.
Because each one's taking off our bump card. And as you get older, you're all of a sudden you'll be flying to the floor. At the end, I would climb to the top and have the ref catch me, and I ain't going. Or I'd show it on TV, but I wasn't going to be doing it in no house show.
But Ripper, not everyone in wrestling was as generous with their knowledge as you were, Rip. It used to be like if you weren't working with the guy, he wasn't sharing his knowledge with you. And so, like, I think there was a gap there where, like, all of a sudden, a lot of us didn't have, fortunately, I was able to sit under a lot of great learning trees, but so many of the guys from that next generation didn't have that.
Well, you got to remember, Sean. I'm really socially inept, but I was a big jock in high school and college, but I wouldn't approach anybody, but people would come to me and they could sort of draw to me and I could get along with anybody.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for playing sports, I would be a social recluse. And when we got in the wrestling business, you got to remember, I wasn't trained of what the proper do's and don'ts were.
Right.
So I didn't do the wrestler's handshake, and when I would go into a steering locker, I'm thinking, I'm just a stupid guy from Indiana that don't know anybody, don't know anything about this, and these are all these guys I saw on TV and in the magazines. None of them want to talk to me. I'm just a retard, and and that's the way I was. And it was never arrogance. And when I would train, it was, I hope nobody laughs at me because I'm so fat since I was a fat kid. I could be, no matter what, I could be shredded to the bone in contest shape. And I saw myself as the fat kid in the 7th grade with the love handles out when we had to play skins and shirts at St. Ambrose School.
Yeah.
So it's not what you always think of anybody. And then I don't want to get into psychology. It was only my minor in college, so forget that.
Well, at OVW, you've had a lot of students. One of them is Matt Cappotelli. He has a current situation with his brain cancer going on, and you have a benefit show to help raise funds and awareness towards this. It's September 23rd at the Davis Arena. Can you tell us about that and just your relationship with Matt and why this is so important to you?
Well, Matt, I had him down there at OVW when we were developmental, and Matt was just such a rib because I just said we were like the yin and the yang because I was the evil guy, and he was a guy that he said loved Jesus no matter what you did to him. He would never cuss. He was the nicest guy. I would push every button just to mess with him, and he just laughed and would never get upset. And then he had this thing with the brain tumor, et cetera, the brain surgery about 10 years ago. And then all of a sudden he had to go back in for checkup, and he had to go through it again. Jeez. So he's still going to class, but he's teaching the beginner's class. But I make sure that I'm there, and I got 2 of my guys or 3 guys, so he don't have to really do anything. And he's there. But I think there's some kind of fund set up for him.
Yeah, there's a GoFundMe.
Because, yeah, the GoFundMe, and the stuff on my phone, I've never done a computer in my life. I'll do stuff on my phone, but anything I do, it's an accident.
Yeah.
And you can ask Sean, I might text out there, here's my number, call me.
Yeah.
And I don't care. That's the way I am, and I'm 63, and I'm not changing.
Right.
It's too late. So anyway, Matt's thing, there's a GoFundMe out there, and I was trying to click this link or whatever, blah blah blah. Then they asked for a pass something, and I can't get all that stuff. So Sean said he could get it some way.
Yeah.
And you guys could do it because I'm technologically challenged or whatever. But
Yep.
Matt he's just so nice that all of his insurance has been used up. So, and he's going to be in this pickle for as long as you can see, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and we have the GoFundMe. We have the GoFundMe information, don't we, guys in the booth?
Yeah, it should.
Yeah,
We'll definitely tweet
yeah, it's
about it. We got
definitely
the
up there.
page
Yeah, we
going
have
up.
we have it on the screen right now. And who is somebody going to tell me what?
Well, it's the GoFundMe. You could use the hashtag
Yeah.
Team Cap CAPP, and you just go there and help donate your money to Matt to help pay his medical bills. I think it was like a $5,000 is what they're trying to raise or something like that. I believe they're halfway there.
It looks like
500K. 500K,
Yeah.
and
A little more than that.
The GoFundMe page is GoFundMe.com/Matt's Biggest Battle. That's GoFundMe.com/Matt's Biggest Battle.
So he's
Thanks,
doing
Phil.
okay. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. So Ripper, he's actually going to camp and helping train still, huh? That's great.
Yeah, he's got to wear like some kind of battery pack on his head.
Oh,
He's got
yeah.
the do-rag, and I'm going, what's that? Yeah, but what's that noise? I thought it was like if you're old enough, lost in space going boop, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop. It was his battery pack was getting low. He says, no, my batteries are low. I said, what are you talking about? Then he showed me. I said, oh, man. He says, yeah, they only last like 3 hours or something. And then after class, you got to go home and get the other ones recharged, new ones or something like that.
Yeah, Maria Menounos' mother, Litsa, she has that same type of brain cancer, and she has one of those things that goes on the head. It looks like it's got these electrodes that fit on your head.
Yes.
A big battery.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that helps. That helps stop the cancer from growing, and actually can help kill the cells, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, he has that, huh? That's something else.
Wow.
So even though that his cancer obviously wasn't something given to him by wrestling, is WWE still helping him in his medical procedures with this?
Well, I don't know. I know he was for a while. The first time, he was getting a check for a long time. So anything he got was gravy.
Right.
Now I talked to somebody that's I'm real close to there, and I'm gonna talk to. I'm gonna try to talk to somebody. Brian James, Road Dogg.
Oh yeah, Road Dogg, of course.
I'm going to speak with him about Matt's situation, and maybe they can do a little thing on the SmackDown, as a feel-good story or something. I don't know. I'm just going to throw it at them and then see if they could, make it into a 5-minute segment of this is what's happening. Some good can come out of this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So I'm going to call him tomorrow, and because they had the SmackDown last night, and see where it goes from there. Maybe I can get something out of that. I don't know. It's off the wall, but a lot of things in the world are off the wall.
Yeah.
But I know for a long time Matt got a check from them. And anyway, okay.
So Ripper, who else is going to be on the benefit show?
I don't really know, Sean, because I know a lot of guys are asking me.
Right.
And I have to be in my niece. My niece is getting married, my brother's, and I don't like doing weddings at all. I should say that, and I shouldn't say that I don't want to be there, but I have to be there.
Right.
So because it's 2 hours north of Indianapolis where I live, so I gotta be to that. But I know a lot of guys are asking me, but I think it's being handled internally by Gilbert Corsi and that Adam Revolver. But I know a lot of guys are going to it. I think it's going to be the biggest OVW event we've ever had since WWE left.
I'm pretty sure I saw that Jim Cornette will be there.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
He's going to be there doing donating stuff, autograph stuff, with every penny being taken in, going in towards Matt's bills and everything.
I see. I don't really know Matt. I've met him and that, but it doesn't matter whether I know him or not. He's still one of us, and we all need to do what we can to help him. He's one of the boys, and we need to do anything that we can. If we got $5, if we got $1, man,
Yeah, that's like in my class. Every week they have to pay an extra $1 to me, so I can give it to Matt each day as we have class Saturday and Sunday, they pay your dues or whatever. And did you bring your $1 for Matt? Well, go get it. Yeah. I don't care what go get it. You got all week. The most important thing is his $1. So don't be telling me you forgot.
Yeah.
So the boys, we're going to stretch every truth we can to keep from doing anything. But
hey,
that's
Ripper.
What's going on.
Ripper, I hate to bring it back around to this after we just talked about Matt, and I want to go. And before we leave, I want to give Matt's information again for his GoFundMe. But it seemed like I just brought Jim Cornette up, and Jimmy is really, and I think you might be kind of in the same camp as Jimmy on this. Man, okay, I'm just gonna bring up Joey Ryan in the YouPorn Plex. How are you on that compared to where Jimmy is?
Well, I'm not as vocal about it, okay? Right. But I know there's all flavors of ice cream, as Dr. Tom would say, right?
Right on.
But to me, and I know it's 2017, but I was broke in, I started in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I still act like it's real. I still think it's real. Anything that doesn't look crisp or whatever, I don't like it. Even though I can be wrong, we all got belly buttons and buttholes.
I don't think it's a right or wrong thing. I think this is an opinion thing, and yours is as valid as anyone else. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. No, but I can't do the dick spot. No.
Right.
I can't do the little. That's not a cuss word now.
No, it's okay.
The penis spot. I can't do the blow up dolls. I can't do the working with a little girl or anything like that. I just can't do it. And I know since it's come out that wrestling is not real, I shouldn't get upset about it. And they're probably right, but in my heart, I just can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That's
it's just like Eddie Graham would have a comedy match on.
Right.
But it was never, because what it was is then there's your comedy relief. Okay, now we get back to real wrestling.
Sure.
Okay, we had some dessert. Now we're going back to steak and potatoes or something.
Gotcha. Hey, Ripper, man, that's a totally reasonable way of putting it. Jimmy goes so crazy over it, and I feel bad, like, because he sells it so much, people start trolling him over it. You know.
Well, Jimmy, he'll have a heart attack over a yellow light turning red or something. You know what I mean? That's just Jimmy, and he'll take a baseball bat and start beating something, whatever, blah blah blah. I think it was, being an only child, a little temper tantrum,
Right.
and he'll go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's purple. He's ready to have a heart attack or whatever. And I was just laid back my whole life.
Yeah.
And that's just, and it's just different personalities. And everything's sort of a rib with me. And since I got the wrestling business, I take nothing serious. I say, oh, this is what happened. Oh, it's a rib. And and everything in life is like you say, oh no, he's just playing the heel, or he's the baby face, or they're just selling, wait for the comeback or whatever. Oh, they're shooting this angle over there at the grocery store, no big deal, So, I mean, once you get in the wrestling business, the real world is different. I remember moving back to Seymour and I couldn't talk to nobody because everybody was a mark.
Gotcha.
So, who are some current young guys, whether it's in the WWE or not, that impress you?
What's that, honey?
Who are some guys either in the WWE or outside the WWE that impress you?
Well, I don't watch TV wrestling, hon. I haven't since basically 2002 or 3. I will see something on the internet, my phone, where somebody will send me something for this or that, but I don't watch WWE, TNA, or I don't watch none of that stuff. It's just somebody will see, or I'll see something on my phone, and that's it. Because to make sure I don't get, I get mad when I see bad fundamentals, or I get mad when I see what I call stupid stuff done. Yeah. And to not get upset, it's simple. I don't watch it. So I can't ever get mad. And I don't really have a lot of opinions on stuff because I don't see stuff unless I've seen something on my phone that somebody sent me or something's really out there.
So, but Ripper, you go and you do seminars. I know you've been to the Monster Factory several times, and you do 2-day seminars. These aren't just, come in, talk to the guys for a couple hours and take their money. These are camps. And so I know you had to have seen some guys that have caught in your eyes in some of these camps or seminars that you've done with some of the independent guys.
It's like this, Sean. I'd say wrestling's not real. If you have average athletic ability, IQ, and hand-eye coordination, you can get this. Because any 5-year-old can do the gymnastic stuff. So it's really not that hard.
Right.
And then I see guys, I'm saying, guys, I don't set the standard for this, but if you want to work for WWE, and that's the leading company there is, the boss there pretty much wants you could be the world's greatest wrestler, but if you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger and is the world's greatest wrestler, you'll probably get a job. But because that's his preference. So if I'm working for the guy that owns McDonald's, Ray Kroc, years ago, I know what he wants, and I cater to that. So work out, look the best you can, because that's what the boss looks. Because when we go out to a girly place, it's TNA. We're not doing a heavy girl comedy contest, but we're looking to what appeals to us as males and no good men.
Right.
So, but all the guys, when I have seminars, usually it's when they want to hear stories. So they'll ask me questions, and I can tell stories all day, so it don't make any difference. But I don't really try and teach them a whole lot of stuff. I'll say, okay, do a high spot. They'll do a high spot. A simple high spot, no matter what it is. I said, okay, now what if you do this, 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 and this? I think it'll be a whole lot better for you. It'll make the spacing will better, the timing will be better, everything will be better. So we'll just practice it, and then everybody else is watching and listening. So I'll usually, a lot of times I'll have Damian Adams will come up, and he's got a school in New Jersey, and one of his students, Donna Perosa, they would work an hour, and guys would see that with no prearranged BS. And then I had her work one with Mike Mondo up at his school in New York a couple of years ago, and when guys see that, it's mind-boggling to them, because they can't have a 3-4 minute match without lining up their spots, doing this, doing that. And I got guys in my class doing 2-hour matches now, called on the fly, with no prep and making sense.
Yeah.
And all it is, it's nothing that I invented. It's just the old guys helping me out, and they taught me how to piece everything together in storytelling, which is what in the old days we learned storytelling. But when I started, I didn't know storytelling. 10 years in, I didn't know storytelling. 15 years in, I probably didn't know that much storytelling. But all of a sudden, I got into the coaching phase, and I really put my head into this. Before, I was just asked to be a performer, get in, get out, don't get hurt, don't hurt anybody, do your time, and that's all I wanted to do. I was just one of the boys, wanted to have a good time, wanted to see the world, and make a little jingle, and just live the dream, baby.
Yeah.
But
speaking of jingle, the reason why I asked you about your All Japan tour is because Wally Yamaguchi said that no Gaijin ever came on a 6-week tour or whatever it was and spent as little amount of money as you did, Rip.
Well, I bought my own noodles with me and a can of tuna, right?
Yeah. And he actually said that you would order some hot water and then pull out a bouillon cube and put it in the water.
I think they're exaggerating.
Probably.
Yeah, it sounds good though.
It does.
Well, before we let you go, you've had such an impact on so many wrestlers' career.
Yes.
Do you see yourself in the Hall of Fame, and who would you want to introduct you into the Hall of Fame?
No.
No, you don't see yourself going in the Hall of Fame?
No, I am nothing compared to these guys that go into this Hall of Fame. I'm just a guy. I'm a fan that loves pro wrestling, loves everything it used to stand for, and I still think it still stands for that. I never got in it for the money. I just wanted to play Major League Baseball, and if I was second string catcher, second string right fielder, utility man, pinch hitter, pinch runner, defensive replacement at first base, I just wanted to be a part of it because I just love the business. And whether there was 30,000 people there or 52, I never gave less than my best effort or tried to shortchange anybody. And I just love this wrestling business. And that's it. Sorry.
Yeah. And hey, also, if you want to see Rip Rogers in a music video, he's in John Mellencamp's. Yes,
he's in 2 of them.
That's right.
You went to high school with John Mellencamp.
Yeah, he was 2 years older, and we was on the football team together, and he was on the front row there. I don't think he ever got in the game, but he had his cigarettes rolled up in his shirt sleeve then, but.
Yeah.
He was quite the character even back then.
And that wasn't it you and wasn't one of your proteges, was his name Scott Sandlin or something? You guys were in a video together posing standing on a stump or something? Bodybuilding
No,
pose?
that was me.
Ah.
In Human Wheels video.
Yeah.
But Lucky was a guy that I trained him and Rod Steele. I trained him on the floor at 6 in the morning at the gym on the cement. And I didn't smarten them up. I just told them how to keep from hurting each other. I had them chaining loosely. And then all of a sudden they had their first match in Somerset, Kentucky. And I said, oh, now the way I showed you guys to do it that way. And they went 20 minutes to their first match against each other, and it was and they made it. Nice. So anyway.
Rip, hey, man. We're coming up to the end of the show. I just want to thank you, man, for taking the time to come on today. To talk about different things, and then talk about Matt and the benefit show this week, man. And hopefully, I get to see you. I haven't seen you in many, many years.
No, I guess the years do slip by.
Yeah, they do.
Because But if you got a minute, call me when you're done with this radio, because there's something that I think you might be interested in.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely will. And,
like a guest for your show.
Oh,
you know
awesome.
what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And Rip, hey, before we let you go though, plug whatever you have coming up. Plug your seminars, your social media, all that, so we can get all that out there to everyone.
Okay. Well, I'm on Twitter at Hustler2754. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Hustler2754. That's my birthday. 2754. Let's see, I just come back from Odessa, Texas in a seminar, and I'm going over to England for Andy Baker, the first 6-7. It's my third time over there for him in Runcorn, England. And then I'll go to Damian Adams School again later on in October. And then I'll be going out to my friend Buddy Wayne, who passed away. He's got the school out in Everett, Washington. And I'm going to go in and see all his guys that do at his dojo in the first week in November. So that's the ones I got coming up. And you got Hustler 2754, and it don't get any better than that.
Also,
thanks for having me on here, guys.
I was just going to say, I was just going to say, Ripper, you can't neglect to mention your pro wrestling tee store and those cool ass Hustler shirts.
Yeah, did they ever pay you for the shirts?
Well, I haven't seen nothing in a long time.
Have you sold any in a long time?
Yeah. Well, I know guys will come in class with them on and stuff.
They're bootlegging them.
They're such a hot item. Yeah. You were hot in TV in '79, so yeah, okay, it's a hot item, baby. Like the legendary Lightning Kid,
Yes, sir.
Get them while they're hot, baby.
Hey, Ripper, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys. You guys have a good one.
You too, man.
Thanks, Rip.
Bye-bye.
Rip Rogers, everybody.
Yeah.
Cool.
So once again, that's Ohio Valley Wrestling, September 23rd at the Davis Arena at 7 o'clock. It's the Matt Cappotelli benefit show. His GoFundMe is Matt's Biggest Battle. Use the hashtag Team Cap. And, yeah, just help send your money.
Team Cap with one P?
No, 2 Ps.
2 Ps.
Yeah,
okay, I
Team
want to make
Cap.
sure everyone gets that correctly.
Cappotelli, yeah.
Yeah, hey, everyone, please, if you can, I don't like to ask people to part with their money for many things. So, but this is a really, really good cause, man. If, like I said, $5, anything, if you guys can help Matt out. So, what else we got here before we let everyone go?
Well, before we let you go, I just want to really thank Derek at Wrestling Guy 54.
Yes.
He sent in his silhouette.
I saw
of
that.
The fan art that he
Sweet.
did. It looked awesome. So next week we'll pick a winner. So you guys have one more week to send in your silhouettes of Xpac. Use the hashtag Xpac12360, and you'll win those PWG Bola cards and maybe some extra little fun stuff we'll send to you.
Nice.
So
Cool. What else, everyone?
that's it.
Denise.
Oh, yes. Oh, do you want me to social media?
All that
Awesome.
stuff,
Oh, I was like,
yes.
yeah, I'm not going to mess up this week. Anyways, but you guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at _Denise Salcedo.
Follow me on Twitter at Jimbo in the Booth.
Follow me on Twitter at SunMotel. Check out WithSpandex.com. Upparks.com/pro wrestling. We released a new episode of McMansplaining today with the one and only Kevin Condren with Spandex Podcast. It's an amazing conversation about the state of independent wrestling. A lot of fun stuff going on and some really inappropriate jokes that we made.
Cool.
Yeah.
Always glad to hear it.
Smiling so hard
TK.
about that. Twitter, the real Xpac. On Facebook, Xpac12360. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter on Facebook. Also IG, Xpac12360. iTunes, leave 5 stars. Nothing else. You don't want any of that. Comments on YouTube. We're reading all of them, so keep those coming. Celeb VM. You can go to celebvm.com/Sean Waltman, so you can get customized, personalized, and unique video messages from Sean.
Thank you.
And then also Pro Wrestling Tees /Sean Waltman to get all those cool shirts. I think you got new shirts recently, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm almost 100% positive of it.
So go on there. And then also a lot of stuff has been happening, natural disasters. So you can go to redcross.org/disaster relief for everything that's happening in the Caribbean, the U.S., Mexico, etc. And also You can go to GoFundMe.com/Matt's Biggest Battle. Definitely donate some money there. And my name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
All right. We'll see y'all right here next week on X-Pac 1, 2, 3, 60.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Sean Waltman, producers Jimbo Frank and TK Trinidad, managing producer of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling Mark Donica, and the entire X-Pac 12360 staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, rate and comment on iTunes and YouTube, follow X-Pac on Twitter at TheRealXpac, and email us at xpac12360show@gmail.com. This has been a presentation of the AfterBuzz TV Network. Buzz ya later!